Well, it's Wednesday morning, and I'm out here in Riverside Park. What I did this morning was I went and I got a haircut. We're going up to New York on Tuesday morning, and I don't know how long we're going to be there. But what I'd like to do, quite frankly, is to avoid getting a haircut up there. So I got one this morning, and here is what it looks like. Then what I did was I've come to these two parks, actually, and practice flying with the drone. And you know, the drone I use is a thing called a DJI Spark, and let me show you what it looks like. Here's the drone, and this is the one that you saw where I broke it trying to haul a roll of toilet paper with it. Anyway, the issue with this, I fly drones for video, and this thing, it's great because it's easy to set up, it's small, it's easy to carry, but it's not that stable, and you know, there's hardly any wind out here, and the thing was blowing around. But what I'm going to do, when I come back from the Bronx, I'm going to bring with me my Mavic Air that I've got up there, which is a somewhat better drone. It's a little heavier, and I think maybe a little more stable. Anyway, I'm still thinking through what I'm going to put on this this Friday's recap, and I was saying to myself, it's hard to come up with new subjects, but I'm going to do my best. I mean, I used to have Mr. Fix-It. I used to have Karen the Weather Girl. I used to do history on a bike. So we'll see what we can do for this week.
Hey guys, that was Wednesday. This is Friday, and of course I'm back in the car, and this is the recap. Let's go right away to the sports desk.
This weekend, of course, the 4th of July is the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. And for the first time, New Jersey is allowing gambling on the event. Now, as you would expect, when we look at the men's division, Joey Chestnut is an overwhelming favorite to win it. But there are a couple of interesting bets that you might want to consider. Let's take the over and under. The over and under in the men's side is set at 73.5. Joey Chestnut has only eaten more than 73.5 hot dogs at one time in 2018 when he ate 74. So I like the under on the over and under bet on the men's side. Now, Joey is a 16.5 point favorite against the rest of the field. And my judgment is, give the points. Take Joey. He's going to beat everybody else by 16.5. Now, when we look at the women's side, the overwhelming favorite is a woman named Miki Sudo. And again, I think the interesting bets are the over and under. Now, the over and under on the women's side is set at 43.5 hot dogs. Miki Sudo has never eaten 43.5 hot dogs. In fact, I think her maximum historically has been 38 hot dogs. I like the under on the over and under. And again, when we look at the line, Miki is a 6.5 point favorite against the rest of the field. And I think I would give those points. So I like Joey Chestnut, and I like Miki Sudo, giving points in both cases. Now, a couple of factors you may want to consider. This event is not going to be outdoors, so none of the contestants are going to be dealing with the heat on the boardwalk. They're going to be in an air-conditioned auditorium. I got to believe that's going to favor the favorites. Second, the field is much smaller this year. In addition to Joey Chestnut on the men's side, there are only 5 other additional contestants. And on the women's side, same thing. It's only 5 contestants. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth. And you can tune in. You can watch it live on ESPN at 12 noon on Saturday.
Yeah, we're liking Joey Chestnut a lot. I mean, he's a perennial winner, and you got to go with a champ. You may recall I used to do a history on a bike, and I've decided to bring that back in a somewhat different format. And it's the History Corner, and here we're going to start with the History Corner for this 4th of July weekend.
Welcome to the History Corner. Today, July 3rd, is the anniversary of two important Union victories in 1863. One was Grant's capture of Vicksburg. The other was Meade's defeat of Lee at Gettysburg. Gettysburg is the more famous. Vicksburg is the more important. Neither one of them, of course, was decisive in ending the Civil War. I don't want to focus on those battles, though. What I want to focus on is the scale of the Civil War on the United States in 1863. Today's population of the United States is 331 million. The population of the United States in 1863 was about 10% of that 331 million. If the country was mobilized today to the same extent that it was in 1863, there would be 30 million men in uniform. 30 million. And when the war ended, again, accounting for the relative size, there would have been approximately 14 million dead. Can you imagine that? That dwarfs any of the dead from any other war that we ever had. That's why it's important to know something about the Civil War. It really had a huge impact on the United States in the 19th century. And that is this week's report from the History Corner.
Yeah, I certainly absolutely recommend that you take some interest in the Civil War, even if it's only that Ken Burns show. It's not that great, but it's pretty good. The week for the week coming up, it's going to be quite busy. Monday morning, I'm going to the VA. I'm going to get the second half of the shingles shot. And you may be aware, if you're not aware, I'll tell you, the brand new shingles shot is in two parts. You get one shot, and then within 6 months, you get the other one. And my second one was delayed, postponed because of this coronavirus. So Monday I'm getting that. Monday morning I'm getting that. And then Monday afternoon, dentist appointment. And early Tuesday morning, we get in the car and drive up to the Bronx. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know quite how long we're going to be in the Bronx. It really has to do with how unpleasant it is up there compared to how unpleasant it is down here. So we'll see. Anyway, that's this week's recap. I'm closing out with some of the footage that I shot on Wednesday with the drone, so you can check that stuff out. And everybody, have a wonderful, great 4th of July weekend. See you next week.
Wake up, step into the world outside. The future never looks so bright. Can't you hear it calling us? Let